where you want it?
Bay 12, please.
Hello there, Transformers fans, and welcome back to another Bay 12 video review. And today we are reviewing the new Studio Series number 100. We have officially hit numbered triple digits. We've been in the triple digits for Studio Series for a minute now, but officially this is the first triple digit figure, number 100, and they went with a cool one. Bumblebee. I mean, 100 is a milestone number for a line like Studio Series, and it definitely had to go to a legacy character like Bumblebee or Optimus or Megatron. And out of the three, I think Bumblebee and or Optimus would have been the most appropriate, a little bit more so over Megatron, even though I'm a little biased. Bumblebee was a good choice for this. Either this or Optimus. One of the two were the best options for a number 100 for Studio Series. And I think they chose a cool one. They chose the new Bumblebee for the upcoming Rise of the Beast film. So now we finally have the Bumblebee-verse Camaro Bumblebee. But it's not quite like the one we see at the end of the film Bumblebee. This version of Bumblebee's alt mode has been modified a little bit. We've got a little bit of a crash bar over the windshield. We've got this awesome big metal brace in front of the front bumper, bigger wheels, and a few other modifications as well. So really cool looking. Hopefully we get a proper Bumblebee 77 Camaro though for the Bumblebee film, because the 2007 Bumblebee isn't a good fit for that since it's a very different design. So we still need a 77 Camaro Bumblebee for the movie Bumblebee to have that full set of Bumblebee figures from Bumblebee. We have 3 of 4. We need one more, Hasbro. Come on, just one more. Anyway, here he is in the packaging. You've got some artwork of Bumblebee in bot mode there on the front, and then of course you can see the figure right there. On the side, you've got a close-up of Bumblebee. On that other side, you've got a slightly less close-up of Bumblebee. On the back, there is the images of the figure in both robot and vehicle mode. And that's pretty much it for the packaging. And as always, here is the backdrop, and they are at a volcano, or at least Bumblebee is at a volcano, which that'll be interesting. Wonder what volcano they're going to be visiting in Rise of the Beast, because there's lots of volcanoes around the world. It could be anywhere. Who knows? With each figure, man, they just keep making my mind race in different directions as to where they're going to be in this film, aside from Peru, obviously, because 2 of the Maximal figures that we've seen have said Peru Discovery or Jungle Peru Discovery, something like that. So we know they're going to Peru to find the Maximals, but or at least we assume, based off of the toy packaging. But yeah, I wonder where this volcano is. It could be anywhere. Volcano would be cool. Anyway, that's the backdrop. He does come with his blaster and a blade like the Volkswagen Bug Bumblebee came with from the first Bumblebee film. And there he is on that backdrop. And that's pretty much it for Bumblebee on the backdrop. And real quick for comparison before we do our close-up, here Bumblebee is next to Bumblebee from the first movie. So here are all of the different versions of Bumblebee in Studio Series so far, specifically from the Bumblebee movieverse, not the Bayverse. So we have B127, Jeep mode Bumblebee, Bug mode Bumblebee, and so far the only Camaro mode Bumblebee we have for the Bumblebeeverse. Again, the 2007 movie Bumblebee doesn't really apply here. Although it is close, the design is very different between this and what we have in 2007. Now, this is a little bit off, a little bit different from the in-between Bumblebee we should have right here for the end of the Bumblebee movie. But hopefully Hasbro has that one coming out sometime soon so we can finally fill in this gap right here, because his Camaro from Rise of the Beast is just a little different. just a little different from the one that we see at the very end of Bumblebee. I will say though, seeing them all side by side like this, I don't really like the choice of yellow they went with for the Studio Series Bumblebee. I don't like how bright it is in comparison to the other Bumblebees, because he's not really this bright yellow. He's a little bit more of this darker yellow that we see in the films, and these two are really good with that color. This one is a shade in between these two, and this one's more acceptable, I think, than this one is. Just my personal preference. I'm just not a fan of how bright this one is in comparison to the other ones, color scheme wise. Also, for comparison, since she's the only other Autobot we have so far for Rise of the Beasts, here is the core class RC figures, so you can see them side by side, see how they scale together. And then, of course, you can also boost her height just a little bit if you bring out her wheels that she uses as skates in the trailer. So it brings her about up to Bumblebee's height there. Again, I like the Cybertronian RC more, but this is still a pretty decent figure. And then also for comparison, here is Bumblebee next to the other yellow youthful bot of the Maximals, Cheetor. So you can see the new Bumblebee and Cheetor side by side together. I can't wait to see these two characters interact on screen. I mean, that bit in the trailer where Bumblebee is racing forward and Cheetor is keeping pace with him in his cheetah mode is a really, really cool clip. And yeah, I'm just definitely looking forward to seeing Cheetor and Bumblebee team up in the film. That's going to be exciting, I think. Bumblebee is fully articulated in his bot mode. Head is on a ball joint. Fully articulated shoulders. In and out. Lower bicep joint just above the elbow. Single jointed elbows. Nothing at the wrists. His blade can plug onto either arm. And he can hold his blaster in either arm, but you have to put it on upside down for his left hand if you want his left hand to be a blaster hand. Waist articulation, hips are on a ball joint, upper thigh swivel joint as well, single jointed knees, side ankle joints, and a swivel ankle joint as well, mostly due to transformation. And that's pretty much it for bot mode. Again, overall, I think he looks pretty decent. He could have a few more paint details here and there just to kind of fill in some of these gaps, especially where there's supposed to be like dark metallic gray bits or silver bits on his character design that he doesn't have. They definitely seem to have gone on the cheap end when it comes to Bumblebee's paint budget here, because he has some decent paint detail, but he could do with a little bit more, let's be honest here. Especially with the solid yellow plastic blade. I don't like that they didn't paint this at all. Kind of disappointed in that, just saying. Transformation is pretty simple, and I actually really like the transformation. I like that he looks good in both modes, and I like that his transformation is not terribly difficult, because some of the Studio Series Bumblebees are a little on the complicated side. This one is really, really simple to transform. So we are going to start over here with the torso. We are going to pull back on this backpack section here. We're going to fold out the windshield, the roof. We're going to click that windshield section into place, and then we're going to leave that alone for a second. Next, we're going to come over here to the chest. We're going to untab the front of the car section here from the torso, and then we're just going to kind of lift that up, and then also bring up the front of the car on that double hinge, and then we're just going to push that down over the front of the car section there. Make sure the headlight sections are facing the right way, and then we're going to bring in the arms, close these wheel sections, and then we're going to go ahead and do the legs real quick. So come over here to the legs, rotate those side leg panels onto the back of the legs, rotate that foot like so, bring it in, and then rotate the back of the heel to line it up with the back of the car, like so. Do the same thing over here. Rotate it. Bring it in. Click that into place. There we go. And then we're going to tab the legs together. There we go. It's a nice, strong connection. Tab the roof into the back of the legs. Close the car doors. And then all we have left is the arms. Rotate the forearms. There's some tabs right here down at his waist and some tabs right here on the forearms. You're going to bring those down and then just tab those forearms into that edge of the waist there. And there is Bumblebee in his Camaro mode. So the biggest differences here between this version of his 77 Camaro mode in Rise of the Beasts and the one we see at the end of Bumblebee is, of course, this bar section here, this reinforced bar in front of the bumper, this roll cage right here with the lights on top, the vents in place of the rear windshield, and the reinforced bars on the rear bumper as well. And then, of course, you've got the raised wheels, the fender covers, or extended fenders, whatever that, I'm not sure what the proper term for that car part is, but I know that that is an extra piece. And that's the biggest differences between this and the Camaro mode we see at the end of Bumblebee. And again, the 2007 Bumblebee Camaro figure isn't quite an appropriate sub because his bot mode is drastically different from the bot mode of Bumblebee at the end of Bumblebee. And then real quick for comparison, here is Bumblebee next to Cheetor. And Cheetor is huge in his cheetah mode next to Bumblebee. Now, in the trailer, he is a good amount larger in his cheetah mode than Bumblebee, but I don't think the difference is that drastic. I'm going to have to look at that again. Hey, pull that up, Barry. Okay. Okay. I guess that is about right. He might be a slight bit bigger, but it's actually a lot closer than I just initially thought. How about that? Well, also for comparison, here is Bumblebee next to RC in her motorcycle mode. So you can see the two of them side by side. Now, she's definitely, big in bike mode in comparison to Bumblebee in his vehicle mode here, because a regular motorcycle shouldn't be that large next to a car. So that's what I was saying in the RC video. I think Core Class was actually right about right for this figure. I mean, to some, she may come across as a small figure, but relative to the other Studio Series figures, I think she's right about right. She's really close to the right height in her robot mode, and as you can see in comparison, she's a little bit large in her bike mode. And lastly, here we have all of the Bumblebees side by side in their vehicle mode. So again, we have B127 in his Cybertronian car mode, which I love this design. We have Jeep Bumblebee, Volkswagen Bumblebee, which is still my favorite, and the new one. And side by side, they look really, really good. Again, it'd be nice if the yellow color on all of them matched, but that aside, the figures are still really awesome, and again, I'm just thrilled and excited for Rise of the Beasts. I can't wait. I can't wait. And making Bumblebee 100, again, perfect. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into today's review featuring the Transformers Studio Series number 100. We finally hit 100, Bumblebee from Transformers Rise of the Beasts. What's something you're looking forward or hoping to see in Transformers Rise of the Beasts? Let us know in the comments down below. Stay tuned for more Transformers reviews. Stay tuned for more Rise of the Beast reviews. Check out some of our other content here on Bay 12. Like and subscribe. Follow us on social media. Tell a friend about Bay 12. And if you like to collect Transformer figures and other figures, come by our physical store. It's inside Order 66 Multiverse in the Shops at Willow Bend Mall in Plano, Texas. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you another time. Transform and roll out.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.